Mike, just start talking. Start you hear a bit of my side.
Test.
You gonna go work on it? Okay, no?
Test.
Yeah.
What's that?
Exciting. Trips up to see here. But we'll have a nice little recording, high quality recording. Not, I don't mean to put airplanes like it's fake, but it's gonna be. Yeah. But yes, we'll have, I think we're all set for that. I just can't make that thing disappear, but. Perfect. And that's it. Yeah, we're good.
Then can I close this up here?
Yep. And then let me explain to you how the camera works.
All right.
First, you know, we put down. Yeah.
After those 30.
Presses. It's the music on this side. The what? The music. The music, I can change it.
How about you start here? So
All right, we're gonna change it to this computer. So the once I change it, the music's gonna go away.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
let me show you. So
Or just mute it. I'm not gonna need the screens or anything.
well, he has a video. So in order for me to get the audio from this PowerPoint, you're gonna have to put it on all the screens.
But there's something else going on before that part.
Okay.
I'm about to welcome everybody, talk to the president's gonna talk
Okay.
to us, and then he's gonna kick in.
Okay.
Hello. Well, good morning, everybody. We are so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming over. We're super excited about this conference. Well, by the way, my name is David Camejo. Let's start there, right? I didn't do that yesterday. My name is David Camejo. I'm a full-time faculty here in the Cypher campus. I teach chemistry. Yeah. But I am also our new faculty, one of the new faculty fellows for this campus. My responsibility in this position is, of course, put together this event. It's not longer an event. You made it no longer an event. This thing grew so quickly. We have a lot more people that we were anticipating, and we love it. And so thank you for just signing up and giving us the chance to or the trust to just for your professional development needs. That's what I'm trying to say. So I have a few words, a few things that I need to get out of the way, and then I'm going to introduce two very special and knowledgeable people around town. First of all, of course, this being a conference about AI, I want to make you guys aware. Our AI faculty fellow, Monica Hernandez Valencia, yeah. She has put together a series of workshops, okay, AI workshops. Please look them up for you to sign in or sign up rather, right? It's all about AI readiness from beginner to advanced levels. So there's a cohort being put together. If you're interested, please sign up. If you are an AI hater, also please sign up. This is all for this is for everybody, okay? So anyways, done here. Good. Well, it is my true honor, first of all, to be standing in front of you guys here. Okay. I hope that the way that the program was organized was of your liking, and I hope it works for you. Please know that there were some last minute cancellations, so we had to shuffle a few talks around so that we can put in some new talks for you guys. So the best way to know the latest on that is just there's a QR code there with the scan the web program. Please make sure to check that out so that you don't miss out on your favorite talks. Okay. Now, my moment to introduce our president in this campus. Please welcome Dr. Valerie Johns.
Good morning, everybody. So just a few words of gratitude and hopefully kind of setting the tone for your time together today. So first, thank you, because you are choosing to be here together today to invest in yourselves, to help invest in this campus and our students and each other. And I'm already making the microphone funky. And that is a massive endeavor. And so I really want to start with just thanking you for that, because I recognize that time is one of our precious resources, and you are choosing to invest that into this work together. So thank you very much for that. Some of the faces in the room, I feel like I saw just about 5 hours ago, not only from the kickoff from this, but we had the opening night of one of our plays, These Shining Lives, which was last night. And so as somebody who's usually in bed way before I was last night, if I look a little sleepy, it is not from the 1920s themed party that you all hosted. It is definitely from that play production. But if you are able to go see that, I highly recommend it. They have done a tremendous job, and your visual and performing arts faculty colleagues have just outdone themselves yet again. So one of the things that I think is a beautiful matching in this particular topic of theme is, as you are focusing on AI and as you are looking at the advancement of technology, and as you're recognizing that some people are excited and enthralled about this and other people are pretty sure it's either going to be Hal or the Terminator to come, what this demonstrates is that ultimately it's the humans and it's the human connection that makes the difference of what does this technology do? How do we use it? What does it make possible? And it takes us as people coming together in this type of inquiry and discovery and learning. So I really think that today is such a beautiful demonstration of the integration of the human heart and the human creativity and the human passion with technology. So I encourage you to kind of take that framework into this, that it's not a binary opposition. It really is an integration of how does this changing and shifting face of technology continue to shape what's possible for us as humans, and what will the world be looking like for the students who are coming through our classrooms. I think as you are exploring these questions together, also remembering that our classrooms have always represented as community colleges such a diverse age range and experience range of learners. But in the recent decades, we've really recognized that that digital disparity or the digital differences are a significant variable in that. Part of that can be access. Who has had access to the different technologies? We talked about in COVID, that included having Wi-Fi access at homes. We've talked about for years computer access in homes. So as we think about those types of struggles impacting some of our students currently and still, now we have this advancing technology, and those differences of exposure, of familiarity, of proficiency are going to continue to be a really critical part of this exploration. So that as you have your classroom experiences, remembering not everybody who's 18 is already totally fluent and proficient. And similarly, not everybody who thinks they're old at 35 has already aged out of technology. And so it really again becomes that much more important that we connect with our students as humans and as individuals to know where they are in their experience, in their proficiency, and in their readiness, eagerness to be able to utilize technology for the world to come. And then lastly, I think when I think about the work that you're doing here together, it is such an important part of shaping, not reacting to the world as it will evolve, but being part of shaping. How do we want our students to bring technology transformation into their different fields and industries and workplaces? So in our daily lives, that looks like education. And as you're preparing future teachers, that continues forward. But as you prepare future artists, as you prepare future creators, as you prepare engineers, chemists, and people in all of the different industries, from welding to machining, to our nursing, to our health professions, to the technology that runs in our health professions, our opportunity is to be on the front end of helping the people who will be building those industries and professions shape the future of the use of technology, as opposed to trying to catch up to it. And so I am so proud, so amazingly proud of the work that has gone into this summit. Huge thank you to the Faculty Fellows team. I've been so excited to see how that opportunity to expand from 1 fellow to 4 fellows has exceeded my wildest imagination. And the work that you do in support for each other's learning and development is just outstanding. So I will hop off the stage for much smarter people to talk and share with us on this topic. But I really, again, just want to thank you so much for investing your time and energy together in this learning. So thank you and welcome.
All right, I knew I would forget something when I was making a comment about the workshops, about AI workshops that our AI fellow is putting together. The name of that cohort and the workshop series is RACE. Keep that in mind. Use that word, RACE. Okay. See, I didn't let you down. Okay, good. Now it's time for us to move on to our first keynote speaker of the day. Many of us know him because he used to work here with us in the Cypher campus. Now his career has taken off. He's an AI expert on every angle. Has been recently to the White House to give a speech about AI in higher education. We're very lucky to have him as part of our team here in the Lone Star system. So I don't want to say much more about him. Please join me in welcoming Tim Bussell.
I was hoping this guy wouldn't show up. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tim Mosel. Thank you for having me here, and thanks for attending today. I'm looking forward to conversing with you about AI. My outlook on presentations is that every presentation should start with a song, and I have a song prepared for you today.
Things to share. So let's start. Questions and be there.
All right, so maybe kind of creepy, but I do like to show that because at every presentation I do, I make a song like that. And over the last couple years, the quality of those avatars and the song just gets better and better and better. And I assume by next year, you will not be able to tell the difference between an avatar and a real human up on the screen. Now, that can, of course, be very bad. It can be used for a lot of bad things, but it can also be used for a lot of good things. So there's, not just one or the other, but it's a mixed bag. While you're scanning that and doing a quick poll on how often you use generative AI, I'll just give an update to where Lone Star College stands as a system with AI. And I've been put into a very unique position. Last year, the chancellor reached out to me and said, I would like you to come work in my office for 1 year. I'll put your chair position and faculty position on hold. And I said, okay, well, what would I be doing? He said, identify system-wide issues and solve them. That was my only guidance. So the first week in January, I thought, what in the heck am I going to do with solving system-wide issues? The first ones that I identified was AI. There's many faculty that have questions about AI, that have fears about AI. Is AI going to replace me? We need training in this. And so that was one. Is I started the system-wide AI task force. And I asked the VPIs at each campus, would you please send 2 representatives from your campus to be on the system-wide AI task force, which they did. So now we have that formed. And then the next objective was to create a task force at all 8 campuses. And with the guidance of Monica Hernandez Valencia, she headed up the setting up of the system task force, with the campus task force. So now every Lone Star College campus has an AI task force. And they meet with the campus, then that task force member reports to the system-wide AI task force. So now we have information flowing back and forth. We have it cohesive. It's not just everybody trying to do their own thing, but we're working together as a team. And it's been very effective so far. Then my other project, AI related, is to create training in person, a series of 3 in 3 phases. Phase 1 is for faculty, staff, and administrators on AI, how to use it, how to integrate it. Phase 2 is 3 sessions in person for students. And phase 3 is for the community and the workforce. This is something that's going to affect everyone. When I first became aware of AI, which was about 4 months before ChatGPT was released, it just really blew my mind. I thought, not only is this going to change education, it's going to change the world around us. And so I fully immersed myself in it and just learned as much as I could on a daily basis. Nationwide, there's a huge push for AI as well. As was mentioned, I just recently, last month, I went to the White House Task Force on AI Education. And in this meeting, it was, and I just want to point out, this is not a political thing. This was an opportunity for me to have my voice heard at the national level. And when I first found out that there was an AI task force for the White House, I sent an email to the White House and I said, I think the nationwide structure of leadership for getting AI into the educational system should be this, and I laid it out. And I also said, I don't think it should be led by politicians or by CEOs. And I attached my resume. I emailed the White House. A month later, I get an invitation to go to the White House for the task force meeting. And it was led by Melania, the CEO of like Microsoft, Google, IBM, OpenAI were there. All the like White House staff members were there. And, you know, in this meeting, each person stood up and they said, what are they doing to contribute to AI in education? Google CEO stands up and says, we are donating $1 billion to get AI into schools. Then Microsoft, huge donation. So financially, these corporations are spending lots of money. And as I'm walking out, I'm walking next, and I see this woman next to me. I said, hey, aren't you the woman that was sitting next to Melania? She says, yeah, hi, I'm Lori. I'm the Secretary of Labor. And so I was able to have a one-on-one conversation with her, and I shared my concerns. My concerns are nationwide. Number one, from what I could identify, I was the only educator at this meeting. It was all politicians and all CEOs. I said, this is very concerning to me that there's no educators here, because no one knows about the classroom better than the faculty and the teachers that are in the classroom every day. Politicians don't know what's going on, and it needs to be led by faculty. And then the other thing that I said is, for a concern, is their push is kind of leaving colleges out a little bit. Their big push is really K through 12, which is extremely important. But what's also important is that we have college students going out into the workforce unprepared for AI. So there needs to be an emphasis on colleges and how AI is being integrated into the systems. And you know, afterwards there was a 2-hour reception, which was great because I was able to talk to a lot of very high-level people that make decisions about those concerns, about having more educators present, and about a bigger push for higher education to be involved in this talk. So I would encourage you, you know, whether you love AI or hate AI, your voice matters, and it's important that you're involved. And if you do hate AI, still learn about it, because that teaches you what you can do to counteract things that you hate. You know, if you don't know anything about it at all, it's really hard to fight against something that you don't know anything about. So I just stress education for all, whether you love it or you hate it. Let me show you the results of our poll. All right, so as you can see, we've got 12 people that have never used generative AI, and we've got about 14 that use it every day. And then in between is a wide range. For those of you that have never used it, I would strongly encourage you, just hop on chatgpt.com and just ask it some questions. Just have a basic conversation with it so you can start to get a feel for how it responds. Those of you that are already using it, fantastic. Let me jump in. I personally, overall, I love AI because I think it brings so many opportunities and so much potential for so many great things. However, I do acknowledge that generative AI does have some issues that come along with it. Number one, and I think that thing is blocking you, but it says, create an image of a successful CEO. This is very biased, obviously, because it doesn't matter what someone looks like. They can be a very successful CEO. Keep in mind, generative AI is trained on what we have written over the course of the internet. It's a reflection of human society. So in society is very biased, and that's an issue with society, but that issue carries over to generative AI. They are trying to make changes so that it's not as biased as this, but maybe it'll never happen, but it's important that everyone is aware that the bias is present. You have to keep in mind, it's not a model of fact, it's a model of probability. If I say to you, my dog ate my homework, so is that true or false? Could be true, could be false, but it doesn't know. It's going to say homework because probability, that's the next word. Probability, it thinks a lot of things that are very biased. Environmental impact. There certainly are issues with that. Maybe they're not quite as bad as many people think they are. And what I also think is going to happen is anytime that there's a huge issue that the entire world is faced with, people adapt, processes adapt, new inventions are developed. And I think that the issues with environmental impact with AI eventually is going to result in a lot of solutions that are going to be really great for everyone. And they're dumping so much money into this and so many resources that there's a lot of work that being done on environmental factors that was not being previously done, because we've always had problems with pollution, with electricity consumption. So this will help accelerate solutions to that, in my opinion, and based on research and papers that I've read. And there's an example of AI prompting for 3 hours, like how much water usage compared to driving a car for 3 hours. And CO2 emissions are less based on that comparison. You know, if you say to me, do not use AI because it's hard on the environment. Okay, well, don't drive your car. We have to drive our cars, and unfortunately, many people have to use AI to stay competitive in the workplace, and I'll show you why coming up. Fact check. Like I said, it's a probability model. It's not based on fact. This telling you that you should at least 1 small rock per day, not true. That's false. I will let you know right now. And I like the last part. Suggest eating a serving of gravel, geodes, or pebbles with each meal, or hiding rocks in foods like ice cream or peanut butter. What a tip. Next example, uploaded my photo. Have him wear a clown suit. AI says, it looks like the previous image already depicted the man in a clown suit. So here I am clowning around here. But anything of any importance, fact check it. Never copy and paste, because you don't know if it's going to be right or wrong. Something that AI will never replace are all of the brilliant minds in this room. Everyone in here is highly intelligent. And it's your intelligence, your experience, your opportunity to do things hands-on can never be replaced by AI. Our students will always need us. People need human connection, and that's something that AI will never replace. People are worried about students copying from ChatGPT and sending in their paper on that. I hate to tell you this, but there's even bigger concerns than that, and that's agentic AI. 7 months ago, I made this video. And in this video, I said my username, and I used Canvas, so it's not get in trouble with IT. But I said, my username for Canvas is this is my password. Log into my course, do the quizzes, and complete the entire course. And took my hands off the keyboard, and it opened up a browser window automatically. It navigated to Canvas. It logged in. It went to the quizzes, took all the quizzes. I got an A, thank you. It went to the written assignment. It wrote a paper, submitted it. And I sat there and watched without doing a thing. It completed the entire course. What does that say about asynchronous online courses, and how do we deal with that? It's a big problem. Excuse me. If you've seen Professor Nespeka's TEDx talk, he talks about the importance of drinking water. So cheers, Ronnie. But with agentic AI, if AI can complete an entire course What does that say about our courses? How do we counteract that? I think, so what happened as a result of me posting this video 7 months ago is an international group of educators was formed, and we meet frequently and we discuss ways that this can be counteracted. We're looking at technology ways of blocking out these bots. We're looking at, in my opinion, the answer is not technology, because that's a cat and mouse game. You put a block, then they counteract that, and it's never ending. I think the answer is in pedagogy. How do we create our assignments? How do we assess? I think that's what's going to be the solution to all of the AI issues. Now, when I say solution, I don't mean 100%. Nothing is 100%, but we can improve in many cases how the assignments are completed and how they're assessed that make AI less of an issue. If a student looks at an assignment and they can't answer this question, why should I do this assignment? What's in it for me? How does it benefit my future? If they can't answer those questions satisfactorily, automatically the chances of them wanting to cheat are increased. If they see the purpose, they're going to more want to do it, to learn from it. A friend of mine's going back to school, and I said, are you going to use AI to help you? She said, no, are you stupid? Why would I do that? I want to learn this stuff. I want to experience it. I'm not going to use AI. And that's the answer many students will have if they can see the benefit. You know, if a student is in a business course and their dream is to open a business, and the assignment is create a business plan for your dream business, they are invested into that because that's their dream. They want to have a business. They're going to do a very good job of that business plan, as opposed to something totally unrelated that doesn't affect them. You know, I hate to say this with math people, but sorry in advance, but there's many students that don't see the correlation between doing this formula and how it helps them in life. If they saw how that helps them in their life, then they're going to be more vested into it. So I think that's the approach that's going to help minimize the negative effects of using AI. The technology skills divide. This is one example of a survey, but there's many examples. 97% of hiring managers stated that AI skills and knowledge is going to be a requirement to get a job. And 20% of graduating college students state that they feel ready technology-wise. That's a 77% skills gap. That's huge. I believe when our students graduate that they should feel prepared for the workforce. They typically go to school so they can get a job. And if they're graduating and they're not ready and they're not meeting the demands of the workforce, they may feel that their education, you know, why did they do it? So I think, again, you can hate AI, you can love AI. That doesn't change the outcome that students will need AI to work in the future world. And by future, I mean today and tomorrow, because it's here. It's not going anywhere. And again, whether we like or hate it, doesn't matter. It doesn't change a thing. But what changes a thing is how well students are prepared when they go out into the workforce. We can't prepare students for our past. We have to prepare them for their future. And it's different. The way we learned, the way we studied, you know, going into the library, going through the Dewey Decimal System, students don't do that. They hop on Google and now they hop on ChatGPT and they say, hey, explain this to me. Or in the worst case, write this paper for me. You know, if they can write, I had a Texas A&M student say to me, why should I learn how to write when I can just pull out my phone and write a paper in 2 seconds? But the thing is, writing is still a very important skill. How do you think you converse with these large language models? Through writing. The better you can write, the better you can explain yourself and share your thoughts, the better the output is going to be. So prompting is an important skill, and writing is an important skill for doing that. So writing is important and they need to understand that. But part of our job too is to really help students understand why college is important today and in the future. Because even though you can automate things, it doesn't mean that's how you should do things. Plenty of issues with the brain, just like muscles. If you don't exercise and use your muscles, they atrophy. You lose the ability to move. If you don't use your brain for critical thinking skills, analytical thinking, creativity, and the huge list of things, you lose that ability in your brain to function in that manner. Students need to understand that the cognitive offloading is damaging to their brains. They need to put in the hard work and the struggle and encounter friction to be prepared. If they can cheat their way through school, they will eventually be exposed when they're out on the job market. And again, that's something else that they need to understand is just because you can cheat right now doesn't mean that that's going to help you. You're going to get out into a job and you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to be able to do it properly. And I think educating students on the importance of learning, the importance of using your brain, and the importance of not outsourcing everything is extremely important. The CEO of Shopify, which is a $100 billion company, he put out this memo that got leaked. So then you can see there his Twitter post. He said, I heard this internal memo of mine is being leaked right now, so here it is. So he put it out there. Two things stuck out to me the most. Number one, using AI effectively is now a fundamental expectation of everyone at Shopify. He went on to state, employees using AI are 10 to 100 times more productive. And then number two, before asking for more headcount and resources, teams must demonstrate why they cannot get what they want done using AI. So it's not just in technology. That is across the board. You hear about more and more CEOs taking a similar approach. And it's probably going to become even more prevalent, which again points to the fact that our students, when they graduate, they have to be prepared for things like this where they're expected to use AI. They go through 2 years here of college, 2 years at a transfer, never learn AI, and then they get out there and like, okay, Mr. Lutke, how am I supposed to use AI in my job? I never had experience with it. I've never been trained. All right, see you later. I'm going to hire someone that can do it. It's definitely a disconnect there that I think needs to be addressed. Now, on the bright side, your brilliant minds and creativity can come up with so many amazing assignments that make things more engaging for students, helps prepare them for the future. And what I would encourage you, if you haven't done it already, try to just run one pilot of an assignment that students use AI. For example, in my class, which is PHED 1164 in the kinesiology department, the students not just use AI, but they create a chatbot. So in the assignment, they create a chatbot on a fitness, wellness, nutrition, or health topic. They go out and they research. They find 3 sources to use as the knowledge base for the chatbot. They then write the prompt for it. They have a conversation. After the conversation, they have to do 3 fact checks with sources. And then they write an analysis paper of what they learned and what the experience was like. So now in that assignment, I'm not telling them you can't use AI. I'm telling them you need to be using AI because you need to learn how to create these chatbots, how to interact with them, how to do the research, how to interact with the chat, and then they write their analysis paper. So they're getting research skills, critical thinking skills, analytical skills, and the list goes on, and it's preparing them for their future. Have I had any complaints ever about that assignment? No, I have not. Have I ever been asked, hey, how do I create a chatbot? I've never been asked that question. And I don't even give them instructions, which I think is really awesome. And I don't give them instructions on purpose because I want them to figure it out for themselves. Because it's not hard to figure out. It's not hard to create a chatbot. But you do have to get experience doing it so that you know the capabilities of chatbots and other uses that you can use them for in your work life and even in your daily life. Chatbots can be very beneficial. A few examples. And this is just to throw out some ideas for case uses. So we have Gemini. You can have a story, for example. And what Gemini does is you give it a prompt, and I told it, I would like a story about the American College of Sport Medicine FIT principle. It generated a story for me. So now students have the opportunity that they can read a short book that talks about the FIT principle, and it breaks it down in a story-like mode. This could be done with any discipline, any topic. Very complex topics could be explained to students in story mode. You also have the opportunity that you can click and have it read to you. So that's just one example of using creativity to throw in an assignment where maybe they create a storybook, they read the story, and then they write about, was this right, wrong? Tell me more about the FIT principle. Notebook LM is an incredible platform. How many of you have not used Notebook LM? Okay, the majority. So this is something that you really need to check out. It's a free platform. You can create frequently asked question sections, quizzes, reports, mind maps, and so on. And I'll show you some of the main cool things that it can do that really helps engagement in the classroom. What I did is I uploaded my course syllabus. And now with my course syllabus, students can listen to a podcast about my syllabus. And let me show you an example of that. Just kidding. What I'm going to show you first is a video. All I did is I clicked video overview, and it created a video about my course syllabus. So there it is. It creates all the images, the voice. It makes a video explaining my syllabus to the students. I can export that, upload it into D2L, and there it is. And same thing, let me jump over here. Here's a podcast on audio about my syllabus. Hey, I'd like more information about the activity tracker assignment, please. All right, so I think it's not hearing me because these wires hooked up, but what it will normally do when it has the microphone available. Oh, okay, thank you. Please explain the activity tracker assignment. Please explain the activity tracker assignment. I don't think it's hearing me. So now we have an interactive tool where students can talk to the syllabus in a podcast form. It's like they're calling in to be one of the callers on the podcast. It will create quizzes for you. It'll run reports. It will make flashcards, interactive flashcards. So this is a tool that can really add a whole new element to your course and give students opportunities to hear things other than just the professor standing in front of the room doing this. The next one to share with you is for educational uses. If you go into Gemini and you type the @ symbol, a list of options come up. And for this case, I would select OpenStax. So I just click on that, and then I write my prompt. So what I did at the top, create a lecture outline for first-year college ACSM guidelines. Now, what that does is it only uses OpenStax as a resource. And you could even tell it only a specific book at OpenStax. Then it's going to create this for me. I can ask it other questions. I can generate quiz questions from it. I ask it for its references, which, as you can see, are all from OpenStax. For making your syllabus or your assignments look great, Napkin AI is a really cool tool. You can come in here. I told it, create a document about student success rates. Then you can create any type of images. For example, this section, if I wanted to have a image there, you just click next to it and it will generate. And that's how I made this one. But it will make any type of infographic that you can export into your D2L to spice that up as well. We've also got guided learning. So we worry about students just going to AI and saying, give me the answer for this. With guided learning, you can now send the student to the AI tool with a predetermined prompt. If you look in the link up here, it says gemini.google.com. And this is the key part here, /guided-learning query equals. After the equal sign is where you enter your prompt. And my prompt says, teach me about ACSM guidelines. And if you notice this right here at the bottom where it says guided learning, that puts it in guided learning mode, which means it doesn't just tell you the answer. It will help talk you through and coach you or tutor you so that you can learn the concept. It's similar to taking your student into the library. You say, okay, student, this book, open it up for them. This page, I want you to study this portion. Same thing with these guided links. I want you to study and have a conversation specifically about this. You can then share that exact link in your D2L. When the student clicks it, we'll bring them here in guided learning mode with the prompt already entered. Now they're going to start learning about this topic. So that's obviously why it's called guided learning. Another use. If you notice, I have some student data that's de-identified. It's anonymous. Never put any FERPA protected information into AI. Just good rule of thumb. Even though, so privacy is a big concern, as it should be. But keep in mind, in ChatGPT, you can go into the settings and you can select, do not share my data. Do not use my data for training. In Claude, you can go in there. Same thing, turn off data sharing. All these large language models, the frontier ones, the big ones, you can turn off data sharing. Even so, good rule of thumb, do not share FERPA information. So for this data, as an example, I created a GPT, which will analyze this data. And what it does, it looks for gaps. Here's an overview of the performance. It gives me clustered insights into each student. It will create an action-oriented study plan for each student based on the numbers it sees. And then a personalized feedback and study plans for each and every student based on the stats. So if you were to export some data from D2L, removing student identifiable information from that data, put it into a GPT similar to this, you can get insights into that data that you may not have caught just on your own reading it. So with AI, we'll often find things that maybe the human misses. And you as the subject matter expert can then look at it and say, I agree with this or I don't agree with it. But that oversight from you and your expertise is so important that you should always be using your expertise to look at this AI output. This feature I absolutely love. All I did here is I went into D2L and I exported my course into a zip file and I downloaded it. I then uploaded that file into this GPT that I created. And what it does is, so like Quality Matters is a way to look at, is this a quality course? There's an open source version of that called OSCQR. It's open source. So I gave it all the open source guidelines. Then it compares that to my course. And it gives me a report of all 50 items. Did I meet them or not? And it tells me an improvement plan, exactly what I should do to make my course better to meet those requirements. This analysis of my entire course was done in less than 2 minutes. And I can go back in there, make changes, and supercharge my course to make sure it meets all the quality guidelines. And then it gives me deliverables. I can export it as a CSV file where it really breaks it down for me. Now, I have reached my time, but we do have a little bit of time left saved for any questions or comments that you may or may not have.
Yeah, this event is being recorded. So if you have a question, either you can approach any of the microphones in front of you. Okay, just turn it on, and then you'll be able to ask that question. There's a microphone right there.
Hello.
I would like you to look into the future and tell us what does the future classroom look like?
Future classes,
Future classroom.
classroom.
Yep.
The future classroom, that is a really tough one, because if you think, I could maybe think 5 years into the future, but 10 years into the future is really tough. We see that already there are some schools that are AI schools. Students spend, like, I don't remember, a few hours being tutored by AI, and then the rest of the time tutored by coaches. That's an experimental phase. What I can really see happening is, for a short period of time, I think that things will move towards AI more and more and more. But then I think it's going to reach a limit to where there's that human connection that is missing and really needed. And I think things will sway back towards more how it is now in terms of that human interaction. But I think, you know, the developments of AI, in fact, just being here for this time with you, I'm probably missing out on all kinds of developments in the AI world. It changes so fast. I'll leave here and I'll look at the news for today. I'm like, look what I missed being here at Sci-Fair. But it changes fast. And to keep up with it is overwhelming. It's a full-time job to study this stuff because of the developments. But with those changes that are coming so fast, it's really hard to predict, say, 10 years from now. But I really do believe that the human connection factor is always a necessity. COVID kind of showed us that with all the isolation. Students didn't do well. They were missing that human connection. And something that will never be replaced is your experience, your ability to help motivate students, your guidance. That's always going to be a necessity. And will AI replace us? No. But will another professor using AI and replace professors that aren't? I think that's probable. And the reason is, rate my professor. Go in and students read the review. I did 3 quizzes and I wrote 5 papers. The class was fine. Then in this review, it says, I created a chatbot. It was engaging. I did things that are going to prepare me for my future. It was novel. It was fun, exciting. I loved it. Which class are students going to take? And what happens to the enrollments of this class? Enrollments drop. Now, all of a sudden, you're not making class load, and it's essentially being phased out of teaching classes in the future is how I see it going. But if you make sure that your class is important for students, they're going to continue to take your classes. And, you know, all of us have the opportunity to make sure our students are prepared and make sure that the class is a good class. If we're doing the same thing that we've been doing 30 years ago, it might be time to look at the course and say, what changes could I make to enhance this a little bit? And that would be, you know, like I said at the beginning, if you can just take one assignment and find a way to integrate AI into it and see how it goes and give it a try, you know, everyone's trying to figure it out right now. But just with a low stakes assignment, try to figure it out and see how it goes. Maybe it'll be a huge success. You're like, wow, this is amazing. I've had one person and I don't know why people want to fight me about AI. It's like, I didn't create AI. I'm just talking about it. Don't fight me. But one colleague who's fought me from day one, like coming at me, like, why are you coming after me? But after one of my presentations, the next week I read on his LinkedIn page, he's like, Tim did it. He switched me over. I'm redesigning my entire class. I love AI. He's just like all excited about it. And I mean, that's an extreme case, but if you get just one small assignment, that's a big step towards making the class a little bit novel and more engaging for students.
I think I saw another hand lifted over there.
As long as you don't give Ronnie the mic.
I think we have time for this one more question, but I think Tim is going to stick around. If you want to catch him for more questions, you may.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tim. It's a wonderful presentation. Okay, I don't have a question, but I have a thought. Okay, to summarize the thought is how to balance it. Let me explain why I bring up these comments. Okay, if AI is very important, very useful. I know that because my husband uses daily, and he uses it to in his work too. How to it really helps to download the reading on screen. Yes, it's and I like the result of using AI too. Yes, but the first thing I want to say is that we probably have realized that screen usage is affecting young people and our own health, eyes, cognition, and the memory loss, okay, and other stuff, okay. Well, we already have all of the homework, quizzes, exams, PowerPoint presentations, and even review online. So students, a typical student is spending 5 to 7 hours daily on screen. Even if they don't get addiction to screen, they will with that much of time. And then, yes, AI is very useful and is needed. I agree with that. Now, we as educator, we need to think how to balance between technology and health. I have seen my students, when they get a higher level of courses, they have very obvious memory loss. They can't memorize stuff. And you probably have noticed that too. Okay, so what should we do? Because right now the newer generations started to use screen in kindergarten. Okay, when they get to our age, their memory is much worse than ours. Our kids is facing the same thing too. So how should we balance? For 5 courses a college student that's taking, should we give how much on screen should we give? We need to balance. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
It works better when I turn it on. I wanted to say before we move on with our program, this is a moment where our breakout sessions are going to start. Check the web program again so you know which room to go to. For now, our team is going to start closing this room, so we're going to ask you if you don't mind stepping outside so they can do that swiftly. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the day.